What's up, metal and heavy music fans? These are my picks for the best black metal albums of 2021. First up, we have Niren Wind with another album title I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce.
Jest dziewięć kluczy do Królestwa Cieni.
Damn you! You gave him the easy ones!
Honestly, a lot of my favorite black metal albums this year came direct from largely unknown projects on Bandcamp. Niren Wind fuses their black metal with experimental electronic elements I'd compare to early Psy, each track representative of the titular 9 keys to the Kingdom of Shadow. It's a dark and twisted journey, and one with plenty of surprises I crave from the genre that all too often sticks to the blueprint. Compositions rarely go where you expect them, and vocals are downright demented. Don't sleep on this underground gem. Next up is Nightcrowned with Heidenfeld. Speaking of the blueprint, there are some bands who still do the formula well enough to warrant recognition, and Nightcrowned fit that bill. While I do generally seek out the more strange and experimental corners of the genre, this band manages to craft compositions that are familiar without being forgettable, fusing the icy atmosphere and riffs of Immortal and Dissection with a healthy dose of Dimmu Borgir. From Gothenburg, Sweden, and featuring members of Dark Funeral and Night Rage, it's no wonder that the hooks are strong with this project, which was also true of their 2020 debut, Impious Viam. Definitely a band to watch in the genre. Next up is Vale Burner with Lurkers in the Capsule of Skull via Transcending Obscurity Records. Vale Burner is a duo I've been following for a while now, with a sound I'd compare to Deathspell Omega and certain material from Blut aus Nord, and albums that only seem to get better and better with each release. Their sound is one admittedly fused with some death metal elements as well, but I'd still be far more likely to recommend these bizarre guitar sounds, gong strikes, and tribal percussion to the avant-garde black metal crowd. Listening to this record is like slowly spiraling into madness, with each moment more strange and uncanny than the last. Who needs psychedelics when you have Vale Burner?
I don't think you should listen to the people who say you shouldn't do it too much. I think you should do it as much as you want.
Switching it up, we have Harakiri for the Sky with Mære via AOP Records. Time to take a trip back to earlier this year with one of the first major releases in the genre. There were some mixed opinions on this effort, even within our own metal YouTuber collective on Discord, but personally, even as someone who never really considered himself a fan of their music previously, I really enjoyed this experience. And what really clinched it for me is the fact that I often loathe long albums, especially from the realm of atmospheric black metal, so the fact that these guys could sustain my full engagement for nearly an hour and a half is an impressive feat. Favorite tracks: Sing for the Damage We've Done, 3 Empty Words, and Song to Say Goodbye, but really, this is an album best taken in as a complete work. On a somewhat similar note, we have Wolves in the Throne Room with Primordial Arcana via Relapse Records. So my take on this seems to be pretty far off from the long-time listeners based on the response to my tier list, but as someone who came to the band late and has a soft spot for black metal on the folkier side, I love this album. In fact, I think it may be one of their best so far. Y'all can have the endless repetitive tremolo lines, give me the traditional instruments and pagan atmosphere. The end result here is quite stunning and feels like a more mature execution of the ideas presented on Thrice Woven. Each second takes me away to faraway lands and times long past, eons from the invasive glare of my smartphone. Then there's White Ward with Debemur Morti via Debemur Morti Productions. I enjoyed 2019's Love Exchange Failure well enough, but it was missing some of the overt darkness and mystique of the breakout album Futility Report. This EP feels more like a continuation of the latter, delving once more heavily into their black metal roots while still letting that fan favorite saxophone wail. The title track on here is among the most vile and aggressive they've crafted to date, with battering blast beats and scorching howls that wouldn't be out of place on any of the 90s second wave classics, and while still managing to stand apart as their own unique entity in the genre. Then a little bit of a surprise here with Ghostbath and Self-Loather via Nuclear Blast Records. Previously, I never would have expected a Ghostbath album to make one of my year-end lists. Don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed plenty of the along the way, but when I heard the harsh, depressive turn they took with the lead single Convince Me to Bleed, you'd better believe I did a double take. This album is completely unlike anything the band has done before, and if you ask me, all of the changes are for the better. I don't even tend to be a lover of DSBM in general, but Ghostbath have managed to balance the misery with memorable and engaging songwriting that is quite impressive. Add a guest spot from CJ of Thy Art Is Murder, and it becomes clear that changes aside, this is still a band with little concern for the black metal rulebook. Then one of my favorite underground picks to shout from the rooftops right now, Mąre with Diorama via Nuclear Blast Records. Mąre is a post-black and black gaze band from Denmark, highly recommended for fans of Numenorian and Deaf Heaven. In fact, if you found yourself wishing that Deaf Heaven's latest album was on the heavier side, this is going to be right up your alley. Mąre seamlessly fuse highly emotive atmosphere with catchy riffs to utter perfection. Every song is an incredible display of raw feeling, complemented by harsh, phlegmy vocals with just a touch of that Lord Mantis kind of vibe. If you ask me, Mąre is one of the best kept secrets in the genre right now, and if you love Diorama, you should also check out their previous album, Jord. For my money, the best post-black and black gaze album of the year. And then finally, it has come with Proscriptor McGovern's Apsu with their self-titled album via Agonia Records. I actually saw Apsu play at a black metal festival in Portland circa 2015-2016 to hear them finally play a short snippet of a new song. Here we are around 5 years since then and an ugly breakup later, and we finally get the follow-up to the incredible Apsu, an album that is actually a decade old at this point. And thankfully the wait was worth it because this album fucking slaps. I've often referred to Apsu as sort of the Dillinger escape plan of black metal in the mathy, chaotic technicality of their drumming and riffs, and this album loses none of that while also incorporating some subtle additions along the way. And while dropping previous guitarist Melissa Moore is a serious loss given how much she brought to the table, new member Vagriez, also of Possessed and Gruesome fame, brings his own impressive bag of tricks to more than admirably fill the gap. It's a bittersweet trade-off, but I can't help but absolutely just love the shit out of how this thing turned out in the end. And then there's Wode, with Burn in Many Mirrors via $20 spin. Yes, this album has managed to hold strong since my previous list and continues to be my personal favorite of the year. Once again, this release has plenty of death metal elements to offset the black metal ones, but the end result still seems to feed much more tonally into the latter category for me. Tiresome labels aside, I think this is easily Wode's best effort to date. There's seemingly an endless supply of memorable moments, from the ominous opening march of Lunar Madness to the painkiller-esque solo of Serpent's Coil. And so many fun transitions with something new and exciting always just over the horizon. It checks all the boxes for me, and I look forward to hear what more surprises Wode has in store for the future. Y'all check out this playlist for more black metal related content, and let me know down in the comments what were your favorite black metal albums of 2021. But that'll do it for now. Vlad Vicaris signing off. I will see you in the trenches.